You are listening to Just Roll With It. Jonathan is your lore master. Christine plays the channeler Amena Valare. Neil plays the Ogier Quercus, son of Ilex. Aradia plays the channeler Pimur Dothorin Akel. And Fate plays the Child of the Light, Lance Akashi.
So your week and a half, 2 week long detention for all of you, except for the Ogier, is finally over, and it's basically only over because it's time for the Festival of Lights, and that would just be mean. So Kiera Sadai brings out the fancy clothes and allows you two to get dressed again, and the garrison commander, Bannerman Gevron, gives pretty much everybody the day off. There's a small token force on duty, but everybody else gets dressed in your dress uniforms and is allowed to proceed to the festivities. It is a 2-day celebration. It's essentially the start of a new year in the Wheel of Time, and it sort of combines Christmas and New Year's into an amazing celebration. So let's get some festival ambiance going. And there are games of chance, there are organized events, there are food eating contests, there are drinking contests, there are all sorts of things for you guys to do today if you so choose. Do you guys meet up, or are you sort of doing your own thing?
How far is the celebration from the Rigney's bar?
So if you look at the Roll20, myself back over there, Rigney's bar is this building right here at the
kind of center of town?
Center of town, sort of south end of the main square-ish. And this main square is where everything is sort of being held.
Oh, perfect. I'm going to go wait in the bar for the rest of them to catch up.
Okay.
Yeah, I would, after being grounded for a week and getting little bits of information from Quercus about how Lance was also grounded, I'm very interested to finally meet up and compare notes.
Okay. It's probably early morning. It's about 10:30, so the bar is not exactly full. There are the few hardcore, hard chargers who want to get a good start on the day, so there are a couple people already in their cups. But for the most part, it's pretty quiet.
Do I see Pimur come in?
Lance, you arrive first. Are you sitting in a place where you would have an eye of the front door?
Yes. Eye of the front door, but 3 other seats beside mine because I actually want to sit with these guys now. We're all friends.
Yeah, so you would see Pimur and Amena come in if she so chose to join.
Is Amena with him?
Yeah.
Hey, guys! Hey, so what happened? I was here, like we said, and I've been here every night. What happened to you guys?
That's funny. Quercus said that you were,
Goddamn Ogier.
I thought White Cloaks didn't lie.
I was trying to win a bet.
It sounds like you had the slightly worse detention than we did, but we haven't been allowed off the farm in a light-cursed week.
She was not pleased with us because someone decided that it would be a good idea to just spill what we were doing.
Trying to... The White Cloak was rubbing off on me.
Are you the reason why I got in even more trouble 2 days later?
No, we didn't mention him, did we?
Well, not by name.
We kind of did.
Not by name. It could have been any White Cloak.
White Cloak that went adventuring off the same time as 2 novices.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, that part.
At least I didn't sell you guys out.
Well, I guess this next round's on me then.
How about after celebrations?
Seriously, you don't want to pregame?
After the celebrations, you can hit me up because I want to go party and go dance and go have fun at this.
Have you not heard of pregaming?
Pre-gaming?
No?
Yeah,
What's pre-gaming?
Where you go over to the bar. Rigney, I need 4 beers and a pile of fries right now. These people do not know how to party.
Oh. Did you say a pile of fries?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, this I can get
fries.
behind. Yes. Well done, please.
Why did we order 4?
Well, isn't Quercus going to join us?
Yep. At this point, I'm walking through the door. I'm hoping that you're you're not going to connect the dots that I was telling one person what the other person was doing.
Quercus! You sold me out, man. I was trying to get these guys to think that I hadn't gotten in any trouble, and they missed hanging out with me.
Good job on the honesty, Quercus.
Yeah.
Really appreciate that.
So as you'll say that to Rigney, it's going to cost you about 4 silver for the drinks.
Yeah.
And I'll have the new boy bring them out to you in a minute. Just go wait at the table. That's awfully early for even you to start, but I'm not going to question it because your silver spend's just as anybody else's.
Come on, Rigney. It's a party day. You can't waste the day not getting drunk.
I knew I liked you. And as you're all sort of sitting and talking, a few moments later, a sort of taller, younger kid, not really a kid, but a young man, sort of a mop of dark hair on his head, nervously comes over and he drops off the four drinks. Is there anything else I can get anybody?
Did we order fries?
Oh, yeah, fries. Okay, sorry. Sorry. And then he'll dart back and he'll come back and he brings out a plate of fries. Okay. Is there anything else?
I'm gonna eat one of the fries and be like, "Oh my god, these are amazing! Thank you so much."
I didn't make them. I just brought them out, but that's okay.
Then thank you for delivering them, and tell whoever made them that they're way better than what I've been eating for the last week.
Okay, I'll tell Miss Harriel, and I'm sure she'll appreciate it.
So, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Brandon.
Hi, Brandon.
Brandon. Hi.
Are you new?
You new here?
I wanna, run my own inn someday, and so Rigney kind of took me under his wing, and I'm gonna learn all the ins and outs of how to do this, so I can do this myself one day.
How old are you, Brandon?
Amena.
I'm just curious. How many years will it be until he's able to run his own inn, Pimur? He wants to learn the ins and the outs. I was wondering how long he would be, learning things.
Things, huh?
I'm gonna just sip my beer with my pinky extended.
I would also like to know if Brandon is skinny or not.
He is skinny-ish. He's got some room to grow.
And where are you from?
Oh, kind of here and there.
It's not an answer.
What's his accent?
I'm a Dishian.
How did you wind up here, Brandon?
Oh, so I was sent here with my parents. They, okay, look, my da, he's the local priest, and I don't necessarily want to follow him in the religious life. So I'm learning how to run an inn.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Huh. Well, how long have you been in town? You and your family just moved here?
Fairly recently, yeah.
Okay. Cool. And how do you like Rigney? How do you like working here?
He's pretty great, isn't he? I think I could learn a lot from him.
You probably could. Have you noticed anyone interesting here in the last week or so?
Well, that depends on what you mean by interesting. I mean, everybody's interesting. I mean, look at you. There's 2 of you, and there's a child of the light, and there's an ogier. This sounds like the beginning of some adventuring tale or something. This doesn't happen every day.
Yeah, no, it's pretty normal. Have you seen a wagon train driver named Andre here in the last week?
No, we've had a couple of wagon trains through, but that name doesn't ring a bell.
He has a really cool pistol. Maybe you've seen a guard with a pistol?
A couple of pistols, but nothing like that rings a bell.
Huh. Okay, cool. Just looking for a friend. No big deal.
Have you seen anybody coming in and just kind of throwing around a lot of money?
Well, today there's been a lot of money just because of the festival, but no one has been doing much. We don't really even have any people staying at the inn right now. Everybody's getting all set up for the party.
And how long did you say you've been here?
Less than a month.
Less than a month, huh?
Yeah.
I see.
And in that time, there haven't been any Kandori merchants passing through?
I mean, there may have been some, but honestly, I'm not really that good at paying attention yet. I get kind of flustered when there's a lot of people in here that I'm trying to serve and trying to keep all the facts and figures straight. It can be a lot to learn, and I'm still learning.
Does he seem honest or
That's an insight
not?
check.
Okay. I want to... Hey, roll 20. Where did you take my stuff?
Well, while she's looking for roll 20, I'm going to look over at Quercus and be like, so, apparently we need to start drinking now for something called pre-game.
I don't know this.
I got a 19.
Nice.
He's young, shy, from a religious family, and not very worldly quite yet. So he's earnest, he's just nervous.
Okay, cool. Well, then I guess that's cool.
So not dishonest.
I've been just confirming to Lance that I know nothing about this pre-gaming. I'm not sure I hold anything with drunkenness either, so I'm going to try and maybe measure my alcohol intake at this point.
Totally fair.
I've also been picking up these fries and sort of turning them around in front of my eyes, sniffing them, and then clamp my hand on this boy's shoulder and send him back for some oatmeal. I don't think the fries are particularly pleasant to eat, and I was going to send the poor child back to the kitchen to get some oatmeal, which is proper food.
While you're sending him back, I'm going to be like, so you guys were grounded for a week.
Yeah.
I was stuck working for a week. There's a new kid in town. Quercus, what happened during the week while we were entertaining other duties?
Well, I have to tell you, there were significant changes. I catalogued all of the beeches in the steading. There were lots of birches and even some aspen. I think this is probably because we're fairly far north, and you wouldn't normally see aspen and birches together in this sort of plant association much further south. And the interesting thing is that they are all growing, the regeneration is all growing at significantly faster rates than you would expect for trees or for new shoots that were in the ground and hadn't previously been growing. Therefore, I hypothesize that the plant life wasn't totally dead during the blight, and that suckers of these trees were underground, ready, creating all of this resource that was just ready to shoot up as soon as the blight receded. Added to that, I suspect that many of the mycorrhizal networks underground were maintained. At this point, everyone else is clearly just...
This is the best. You can spin science bullshit so much better than me.
I'm going to look over and just, but yeah, yeah. Wait, he's taking your breath. What about people?
Well, you were still cleaning latrines, and your Aes Sedai friends were not cleaning latrines and were on their farm. Anyway, I'm not sure what species, and I'm just going off on one again.
I'm going to look over at the other two. Just, have you guys seen the people that, want to... us?
Unfortunately, no, because we were sort of grounded on the farm.
So you guys have been safe, too?
Yeah, we were fine. I want to go ask Rigney if he's seen Andre in a week, because he would have actually known Andre, whereas Brandon definitely doesn't have a good sense for faces yet.
Brandon sounds like it'd be a good husband.
It does.
Yeah, it also could be a good author name.
Oh, yeah, there's that, too. And a good innkeeper, maybe.
You guys are assholes.
We're assholes.
Just trying to engage with the
Trying to
NPCs.
slide in a nice cameo, and then all of a sudden I've got to invent shit on the fly.
Well, you threw him to the wolves.
Fair.
Hey, you give us an NPC and we're just like...
Big Mystic Quest over here. Named character right in front of us.
You are cats. I'm going to lead you with a string over to where I want you to go.
Oh, shiny red dot. Pounce.
Okay, so you go over and you talk to Rigney?
Yeah, I just want to ask Rigney, basically, has he seen Andre or anybody interesting or anybody weird or unusual in the last week?
And he sits there and he kind of thinks, he goes, no, I'm pretty sure Andre said his caravan was leaving. Haven't seen him or any of his compatriots for... I don't know, week and a half. It's just the normal amount of trade coming in and out. More going out than in. I think the miners have been hurrying up to be able to come into town for the festivities. I'm kind of surprised I'm not swarmed up already. So don't you go be drinking all my stock, because I got people coming in and they're going to want some later.
Yeah, sure. Pacing myself. See, this is only my first.
Yeah, let's try and keep it a little Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
thanks, Rigney. Good
Yeah,
man.
no problem.
So that new kid you got in the back, you might want to fatten him up a little bit.
I'm working on it.
A little on the skinny side.
Believe you me, Harry will have him stouter than a cask in no time.
Good work.
Huh, is this Harriet trustworthy?
Okay, so we've reconvened. It's still early morning.
And we're all trying to get drunk for pre-game?
We're not getting drunk. We're just getting a little warmed up. Okay?
Well, if you want to be warmed up, go sit by the fire.
A little buzz. Just a little buzz. You need to get out more, sir.
Well, I would if someone wouldn't have gotten me digging latrines.
Yeah, I honestly do feel kind of bad about that. Sorry. You were trying to get back on time. But we did learn that we might get assassinated. So, I mean... But I am sorry. We did let you
Yeah,
get...
I could have said no at any time. It's not 100% your guys' fault.
Cool.
So, is anyone going to attend any of these contests? I plan on entering the storytelling contest.
You should do that.
You will rock that.
You should.
I do think I
definitely
stand a
do
good
that.
chance of winning. I'm going to tell a tale from Loyal's book of The Dragon Reborn.
Oh.
I have a copy.
You have a copy?
It's a big book. Would you like to see it? Actually, I
Yes.
left
Yes.
it at my camp. Sorry.
We like big books.
And we cannot lie.
We cannot.
So, are you going to enter anything?
I was thinking of the competitive drinking contest, but that seems almost like unfair to the competition. There's also wrestling. I mean, learning the power is a very like intellectual, like mental thing. So I was thinking of basically, getting down to the dirt and wrestling. So, crap, I'm wearing my good clothes. Do you think Kira will notice?
Yeah, I think maybe you shouldn't if you want to continue this path that you're on of getting along with her.
I can just take the coat off and wrestle. It'll be fine. She won't notice any dirt on the pants.
You could always have Amena try to clean them,
Why would
That's
why would
true.
Amena want to clean them?
Because you're awesome and my...
Because you like your friends looking pristine.
Yeah.
You would never step on their cloak or anything like that.
On his cloak, I wouldn't because he doesn't deserve it.
I'm going to pop another French fry in my mouth.
Okay, so what's sort of the plan?
Go outside and get fucked up at the party.
So I guess my job is going to be babysitting Pimur and making sure that he doesn't do anything ridiculous.
No, I need to play a character that doesn't get completely trashed at every goddamn party for once in my life. So yeah, is festivity starting to happen outside? Or they're like whatever the market stalls, or I guess it wouldn't be a maypole, it's the wrong time of year, but
It is the wrong time of year, but yes, there are people sort of dancing around. You sort of hear music, you hear people talking. There appear to be various contests in different sort of areas that people are kind of gathering together. A lot of it just seems to be mostly fellowship and hanging out and spending time in town. Everybody seems to be visiting all the houses, and people are like getting bites to eat and that sort of thing.
okay. So can we go outside and kind of survey the crowd and see if there's anyone that doesn't, and if there's anyone that stands out or isn't just a normal party
Sure.
goer? People that are pretending to party or something like that.
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
9.
There are lots of people around, and it's hard to sort of keep track of everybody. They're all sort of drifting in and out, and they're going from house to house, and everybody appears to be, I mean, you don't know everybody in town. That would be ridiculous. But nobody seems to be standing out more than any other. You see lots of various stages of dress. Some people obviously look like they can't afford super expensive, but they have something on that's probably as nice as they've got. But nobody appears to be standing out specifically.
And we don't notice the chap from the mines, Lucalis.
You do not see him, no.
Do we see any of the other thugs or anybody that we might recognize from the cave?
Why don't you go ahead and give me a perception check as well, Amena?
12.
Okay, so with the 12, you're looking, and you're looking very specifically. Like, you saw their faces up close. You would be able to recognize them, and you don't really see anybody that looks familiar.
Well, I think I'm going to try to go ahead and embrace the source anyway, just to be on the safe side, just in case something pops out unexpectedly.
Sure, so go ahead and give me an Arcana check.
Okay. 13.
Okay, so you make it.
That was close.
It's distracting, there's lots of things going on, but you're able to close your eyes,
Barely.
do the flower, and then you've got it.
I'm a beautiful flower opening to the source.
Can I tell when she's embraced the source if I haven't also embraced the source mechanically? Because I mean, I know in canon I could, but in these rules, can I?
With an Arcana check.
Oh, really?
You can sense the ability to channel and people embracing the source with an Arcana check.
Okay. Well, I don't think I'd be expecting that, so I'm not going to check for it. So I just kind of want to start, like, mingling through the crowd and, like, doing the party things, you know, getting the bite to eat, playing the game of chance, but still just kind of, like, people said they were going to kill us, and I haven't been off the farm since. So it's a bit of an uneasy, like, eyes in the back of my head feeling.
Okay.
And I don't know, I guess it's been like 10 minutes since I've had something to eat, so I'm going to go find some food.
No squirrels on sticks here.
I hope they have like elephant ears or something. Fried cheese or something.
Don't you mean shredded ears?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Shan Chen cuisine is making its way over.
Yes.
Only the best snack foods, though.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're all sort of participating, you would all eventually hear... coming from the south end of town.
Uh-oh.
Ears perk up.
Shit.
Guys, I heard gunshots. Did nobody tell me there's a target practice? There's a shooting contest? What is this bullshit? I take off.
And I'm like, wait! Where are you? You don't run toward gunfire. What's wrong with you?
I'm walking briskly in case I missed the it's clearly a competition.
You should maybe, like, not run towards gunfire.
Well, maybe I should.
I'm going to take off after Pimur.
I'm assuming it's a party. I don't think it's danger. I think it's a one of the games of competition. That's what I'm assuming.
Are people yelling or shouting or screaming or anything?
You hear...
See? It's a marksmanship
I'm
competition.
sorry. I'm a little bit on edge given what's happened recently. I'm worried.
Okay, well then come with me and keep me safe while I go and show everyone who's got the best aim.
Okay, I'll keep you safe.
And as you walk down south to town, there's another open clearing, and you see about 24 people watching a half dozen individuals, and they are standing, and they all have pistols out, and there appear to be targets of some such set about 50 yards away. They appear to be swapping out targets and reloading pistols.
Sweet. So I want to find whoever is running the event and be like, so can I get in to the next round?
And you see the big, bulky man who seems to be running things. He's got a shock of brown hair. He's big, thick, almost waist-length beard, and he is built. And you recognize him. Oh. His name is Fergus, and he is the blacksmith.
I love that name.
Oh, cool. And so have I met him before? I know him. You just told me that.
You've had interactions with him.
Okay, so I'm going to go over to him and be like, Fergus, this looks like my kind of competition.
I was wondering when you might show up. Are you ready to take your aim?
Absolutely.
Grab a gun.
All right. So I go over to the gun rack, get the coolest one. I'm assuming they're all about the same because it's a competition. So, yeah.
Okay.
Let's do this. And then also, I want to look at my fellow competitors. Do I recognize any of them?
Give me a perception check.
Okay. Because, I mean, part of my brain technically isn't always focused on firearms. Occasionally. 19.
Wow, nice.
So that is, you very much, you're kind of standing there, looking around. They don't look familiar. It's sort of a smattering of young adults. They're not all men, not all women, just very generic. Some of them look like they may live on the farms that are further out, and they're just in town for the celebrations.
Okay, cool.
All right, and Fergus will be like, round one, fire! I need you to roll me an attack roll.
Okay. I clearly know how to do that.
And we have the...
I never put it in the thing. So it's just a D20. I'll just do it like that.
Let me find the rules that we decided to use.
I don't think I've ever been clued into how to put the gun onto the thing, so...
I grabbed a very specific set of rules, so I will find them. Hang on just a second.
Sorry, I should have thought of that sooner. So it's a D20 plus my strength modifier? 12.
Okay, so everybody shoots. Have hit the target, including you.
Sweet.
And so, all right, Fergus says, next round. And this time the targets are put a little bit further back. And the three of you that have hit the target kind of, You're given reloaded pistols, and you're standing there in a line again. Ready, fire!
14.
Okay, 14 misses.
Damn it.
You all fire, and when the smoke clears, only one has hit the target, and it's a young woman. Fergus kind of walks over and slips a small coin purse into her hand and says, "Congratulations!" You know, everyone starts clapping and telling her good job. We'll be set up in a little bit for the next round. Everybody come back.
Cool. Can I go get this girl's name?
Sure.
Because she shot better than me, so...
So you want her to give you lessons? Is that what you're saying?
You know what, Amena?
What?
I don't need your help on this one.
I mean, because Andre obviously isn't available anymore, so I was just curious.
This is true.
Not everything is about that, Pimur.
I mean,
Yeah.
Okay, Amena, if you say so.
Listen, I do say so.
Oh, okay, well, I want to go over to this girl that outshot me and be like, nice shooting. I'm Pimur. What's your name?
And she turns to you. She's got sort of short, dark hair in a crop that's, I don't know the terms, but part of her hair is pulled back into a ponytail, but not all of it. And she's got like her hair.
I don't know what the words are for that either.
I love this explanation. Keep going. This is great.
This is like when I go to the hairdressers and try to convey what I want my hair to look like.
She's got dark hair, and it goes down to, like just below her ears. Part of her hair in the back is gathered into a ponytail, but not all of it. And she doesn't have bangs. I don't know these terms. I shave my head every month for the military, and I have for 20 years. And she's wearing sort of not quite adventuring gear, but it's definitely like it's trousers and it's a shirt. And she says, "Hi, I'm Liz."
Liz. Cool. Nice to meet you. Good shooting. That was good.
To be honest, I don't really like guns, but we live on one of the farms out of town, and so my da has decided that I needed to learn how to shoot in case my brothers couldn't go hunting or we needed to protect the flock or whatever from predators. So I don't have a whole lot else to do, and so I've learned how to shoot.
Really? You don't like guns and you outshot me. That's awesome. Where do you live? You live near here?
Our farm is a little bit further south. We've just come into town for the festival. We don't hang out here very often.
Oh, well, maybe I'll see you around sometime.
Sure. Do you like guns?
Oh, yeah. They're pretty. I think they're pretty awesome, actually.
They don't scare you?
No. I mean, they go where you want them. It's no, I find guns incredibly predictable and intriguing, and I'm going to start going off on how guns are made.
Goes where you want it, but you miss.
I'm just going to start going off very Quercus style with the knowledge of guns, except that Aradia did not do her homework to be able to actually spin that. So we'll just montage that in a nice sort of fuzzy way.
Totally fair, yeah. And you can tell she's trying to pay attention, but then you start getting into a lot of the complex, more mechanical things about it, and she starts to just sort of nod, and she's like, "Well, I live on the farm." And she's looking at the coin purse. There's 10 gold in here. Do you want to go get some food or something?
Yes. Yeah, let's go do that.
Okay, I don't know where do we get food? I don't know.
Oh, let me introduce you to Rigney. Rigney's great. Come on.
Okay, sure. And she's following along.
All right, sweet. I'm going on a date, guys.
Way to go.
Amena's just sitting there going.
Right.
So while Pimur is going off with Liz, what is everybody else doing?
Do we have a schedule for when the various competitions were due to be held?
Yes. So there are basically anything you could think of. So there's going to be drinking games. There's going to be tests of strength. There's going to be sack races. There's going to be pretty much any sort of group outdoor activity where they can get people together is going to be done at some point.
Would we know in advance when these were? I'm also thinking that it would be whilst everyone else is in town, it might be a decent opportunity to go exploring elsewhere if any of the other members of the party, clearly not people who are going on dates right now, but people who are more focused on other things, might want to go exploring.
If you had asked around...
You keep judging my priorities, Neil.
Potentially.
Wow.
Oh, ouch. You would have known ahead of time. There would have been like a schedule published, so you would have known like games of chance are from mid-morning to late evening, and then there are potentially, like story competitions and other sorts of things, and then the big sort of penultimate thing for the evening is the coming of age ceremony. So in the fourth age, some people know sort of what day they were born on, but for the most part, the Festival of Lights is treated like sort of everybody's birthday. So it's a new year, everybody ages up a year, and it's just sort of a big sort of grand celebration. And so the penultimate event of the evening is a large dance, and all of the men and women coming of age get their swords because it's Malkier.
Okay. Did Lance and I go to accompany Pimur and Amena to the shooting contest? Or are we still in town?
I would have gone to, see the shooting contest, and then as soon as I see that Pimur's got himself a girl, I'd walk back to the main party looking for some other way to spend my time, because I'm not going to be third wheel. Or with our group of fifth wheel.
All the wheels.
Is Kira Sadai and her warder in town?
Not that you see. Not right now.
I'm just thinking that today would be a good excuse for any... If the people who previously launched the hounds, or released the hounds on the town, were aiming at specific people or targets, then today would be the day they would do it. So it would be useful to have the warder's danger sense to see if he could detect whether anything was up, like the last occasion.
Yeah, you don't currently see him in town at all.
In that case, I think I will just try to relax and enjoy myself for a little while and go and find out when this storytelling contest is and maybe get myself ready for it.
Okay. And so, Pimur, you share a somewhat awkward meal with Liz.
So
she's wanting to talk, but you can tell that, she doesn't get off the farm much, so she's literally, not sure how to have conversations. She's just kind of quietly sitting there eating, and then, just out of nowhere, so where do you live?
Another one of the farms, up the road slightly, with this irascible old lady.
Is she like your grandma or something?
No, she's, a teacher.
A teacher? So you're not from here?
No, I grew up on a farm just like you, but no, I got sent here to learn from her.
All right, were you...
With Amena, we both got sent here to learn from her.
The girl, the pretty one with the dress.
Yeah, her. Yeah, we're students, and we live up on that farm with someone who is definitely not my grandmother. I would kill myself if she was my grandmother.
Okay. Do you like it here?
I mean, Rigney's nice, right? This bar is fine. I've met some cool people here, but I'd like to get along, if at all possible. Get out of here and maybe go shoot some more guns somewhere.
Yeah,
Have you always lived around here? Do you know the area well?
I mean, I don't get off the farm much. I was born here. I guess my ma and da used to live further down south. They came up here to look for opportunities or something. Now I just live on the farm. I don't know the area very well.
You never really explored or found any strange caves anywhere?
Subtle.
No, not really.
Well, there are some strange caves around. If you ever have some spare time, you can go exploring. I mean, not in those caves. They're have some dangerous stuff in them, but there's cool stuff to find if you get off the farm.
You go looking for dangerous things?
Well, I mean, it's not polite to shoot things that aren't attacking you.
You've shot things? Like living things?
Mostly just targets. Mostly.
Wow.
I really only can... I mean, you know how hard it is to load a gun. You can't go shooting just any old thing.
I mean, Yeah, I get all nervous, and sometimes I can't load the gun, and it takes me a really long time.
So I've heard that if you think of, like, being a flower and, like, just opening to the sun, sometimes that can kind of calm your mind down. It doesn't work for me, but I've heard it can work. Maybe try that.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know. Okay. I think I'm gonna go now, but, are you gonna be around later?
Yeah, I'm not expected to be able to leave this town for a very long time, so maybe I could come visit you on your farm, meet your family, and see, where you learned how to shoot so good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, okay. I guess I'll see you later. And, like, she gets up and, like, just leaves, like, super quickly. Like, definitely flushing red, like, just gone.
Oh, man. Well, timer flies about as well as a radio does. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, you did pretty well already inviting yourself round to see the family on the first date.
That's very impressive.
Progress.
Honestly, Pimur looks better than radio. By, like, orders of magnitude. Okay, so yeah, that was... Anyway, I'm just going to sort of stare after her and be a little misty-eyed.
Aw.
She's a girl and she can shoot. So about what time of the day is it now?
It's probably early afternoon.
Okay, so I'm going to look around for my party and see where they've all gotten off to. Because I completely forgot they existed. So I'm kind of like, oh yeah, I have companions. I wonder where they are.
After all of that. So what has Amena been doing after she watches Pimur, like, get a girl and disappear off to go eat food?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really proud, first of all, because Pimur needs other friends. Pimur needs to, like, just, feel good about himself, and I think it's nice that he felt confident enough to start flirting with a girl. So I'm just going to kind of wander around, look at the vendors, see if I see anything pretty or anything that might go with, one of my thousands of pairs of shoes and dresses, and basically just sort of wait for the dance to start.
Okay. So, what is Lance been doing?
Lance has been going around seeing the different booths and things that are set up, buying things here and there, showing Quercus around at some of the other things that humans tend to do or look at while they're out partying, doing this thing that we're all doing, and looking for where there would be some of the other non-explosive style combats are.
Sure, there's definitely a boffer pit of some kind where people have mock weapons and they are sort of beating each other with sticks and such.
I would most definitely jump in.
Okay. So your first competitor so it's basically no armor and like the Lan and Rand trained with training swords that were essentially just bundles of lathes bound together, and it would be something very similar to that. It wouldn't actually be anything hard. You would probably get a decent whiplash from it if it hit you really hard, but it's mostly designed just for a slight sting, just to let you know that we've had contact.
Okay.
So I'm going to need you to roll an attack roll.
23.
Okay, so you definitely hit. Roll damage.
5.
Okay, so you basically come in and you bap him, and right off the bat, the match gets called because it's basically to first strike, and you get to proceed to the next round. It goes on for a few more minutes, and then everybody else gets called up, and this time I'm going to need you to roll a d6.
3.
Okay, so he rolled a 5, so he gets to swing in first. Does 14 hit your armor class?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you go in, and this time this guy is much too quick, and he dodges out of the way and thwacks you on the shoulder, and you are out.
No, I'm sorry, Ref. I want to redo.
Okay.
All right.
So everybody has been kind of doing various games. The Quercus, why don't you go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw, because the storytelling competition starts, and we'll see how hardy you are and how long you're able to continue on.
Oh. So remind me, Constitution is D20 again?
It should be, yes.
Okay.
And Constitution modifier.
Yes. 21.
You're able to stand there and talk and talk and talk and talk. And you're in your element, right? Like, you're just sitting there talking, and you're not really paying attention to the crowd that had started out pretty decently, And as you continue to talk, is slowly starting to drift away until you stop and you realize there are about 3 people that are just continuing to stand there. One guy is kind of slumped over and like literally asleep. And the man who's running the storytelling competition, he's a rather rotund man. He's balding up top, and he's just got kind of that Friar Tuck hair, around the back of his head. And he introduced himself as Harbin. And Harbin kind of walks up and says, "Friend Ogier, that was something to be sure. Please take your 10 gold. You are most worthy of being a storyteller. Now, I believe we are all," and he's like kicking the guy who's falling asleep, slumping up against something. He's like, "We are all thankful for your presence and hope you enjoy the rest of your festivities."
I'm sorry. This is the end? I've just finished the second chapter.
You are quite the funny one, Master Ogier. But as you can see, not only are is everyone getting ready for the dance, but we're starting to lose the sun, and it wouldn't do for you to be standing here telling stories in the dark. That just wouldn't do at all.
Oh, I see. Okay, so I'll rejoin my compatriots and I guess get ready for the dance. Or get ready to observe the dance. I don't dance myself, you understand.
Oh yeah, I'm with you on that.
We will be the observers with our notebooks. Maybe I'll be with my notebook.
Well, you can have the notebook. Okay. I'll just observe. I'll point out the more interesting human behaviors that you should be taking extra note of.
Oh, would you really? Thank you.
Indeed.
Okay, so you all sort of congregate back together after you've had your fun, and paper lanterns have been made and hung on strings all about town from building to building. And the center market has sort of become this big square area where everybody is sort of hanging about ready for dancing. And then the band strikes up the music. Mm-hmm. And so people start dancing. Amena, a rather dapper young child of the light in full dress uniform, with a thin shred of beard and a line down his chin, kind of walks over and flourishes a bow and sort of holds out his hand. "Would you please accompany me for a dance?"
Sure, why not?
And he'll take you out, and everyone's sort of, dancing and bustling her out. I need a performance check.
Okay.
And I'm gonna roll a hidden one for this guy, and let's see how well he does.
Great. Oh no! I rolled a natural 1 for 6.
Oh, so did he.
Oh, good.
What?
So the minute you get out there, he steps on your dress and he trips and falls forward and accidentally puts his hands right on your shoulders and kind of pushes you down almost.
Dude.
And stumbles and eventually he gets caught on his own ankles and spins and just kind of lands on his ass in the middle of the dancing ring.
I try to keep my composure, and I just walk over and ask him if he's okay. Are you okay? Because it looks like maybe somebody tripped you or something.
Oh, that was... these peasants are so rude, and he's brushing himself off, and I'm so sorry. Mayhaps I could buy you a drink as an apology?
Actually, I think that would be really nice.
He looks shocked for a minute, like he was fully expecting you to tell him no, and then he's like, of course, after you.
Well, where would you like to go?
Well, I hear Rigney has the best stuff in town.
Well, then why don't you lead the way?
Of course. And he starts walking away. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Okay. He better hold the door open for me, or else.
This poor kid is going to be putty in your hands, man.
16.
Okay, so you, even though he walks in front of you, he's trying to be sly, but you totally see him glance over where there's a couple of other younger children of the light in the crowd, and they're flashing thumbs up and winking and, the okay sign and silently whooping.
And I see that, and I let him keep walking, and I just sort of turn a little bit and walk the other way back into the crowd to find something else to do.
You're so cold.
Wow.
So cold. It's terrible.
Well, he didn't roll well for his
harsh.
perception, so he's going to get to the door before he turns around and realizes you're not following him anymore.
Yep.
Oh, and his friends are going to give him shit for like ever.
Yes, they will, and he deserves it.
Yeah, you're right. He almost got dirt on your dress.
Yeah,
This
and
is
there's that
totally a
too.
good
So
reason
he
to
was
ruin
already
his
sort of
standing.
like, on his way out.
Well, if he was doing that with a six, what was happening to your six whilst you were dancing?
Well, I mean,
Oh, it was. I sort of just combined the two of just
Okay.
the utterly just.
chaos.
She may have been able to resolve it if she had rolled any higher, but that didn't work out very well.
Clearly not a good match.
Not even remotely.
Yeah, the wheel did not
If he
spin that.
doesn't have that kind of coordination on the dance floor, I'm not interested.
This is the litmus test. It's probably how it actually worked.
Okay.
I mean, yes, dancing is generally a good signifier. So
I'm sorry. Am I embarrassing you? You men look like a little flushed.
This whole episode has been amazing watching Loremaster try to roleplay someone flirting with both of you. It's awesome to see him, like, struggling for words.
it's two entirely different people. I can't be myself because that would be weird. And so it's trying to be two different people with two different personality, like two different directions of flirting.
Yeah. Well, what would it be like if you were being yourself? Just, out of curiosity.
Probably just as awkward, honestly.
Like way smoother.
Because that's how Oh, I'm totally smooth.
Yeah. Got game.
I do have a game. We're playing this game right now. This is my game.
Right?
Anyways, the dance goes on for about another 30, 45 minutes. The alcohol is freely flowing, and everyone is having an amazing time.
I'm having so much fun. I'm not getting blackout drunk because I want to remember this. It's great.
So you're not drinking.
Oh, I'm drinking. I'm just drinking with restraint. And not in the competitive
Nothing too
drinking
strong.
contest.
Just beer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you all know how stopping goes with alcohol. It doesn't. So
Remember your duties to help me with my notes. You're my spotter, giving me information that I need to write
right,
down.
yes.
I can't have you getting too drunk to provide me with insights for my notebook.
fair.
Okay. So eventually, the dance stops, and several individuals make their way sort of into the center. There's some unseen signal, and everybody kind of walks in. As you scan the crowd of individuals that are walking into the center of the market square, they all appear to be about 15 years old. There's a smattering of men and women. And Harbin from the storytelling contest steps forward. And Lance, Amena, and Pimur would all recognize him as the town master. He's essentially the mayor. And
I'm gonna elbow Quercus and tell him, hey, he's important.
Oh, I think he likes my storytelling as well.
Oh, did you win that?
I did. You weren't in the crowd watching me.
No, I went to go get some more food, and when I came back, you were done. I thought you'd do more than one chapter.
Oh, they wouldn't allow me. I was forbade from doing a proper story. We were just setting up the introduction. Anyway, I'll talk to you later when the mayor is not talking.
And Harbin kind of stands forward and he says, on this day of feast, this day of celebration, we honor those who are to become adults. We honor those who will earn their swords in the service of Malkier. We honor those who came before. And there's, polite clapping. First, the masters of their crafts will speak. And individuals sort of step out of the crowd, and you see Elmar Borthen, who runs the general store. She calls her daughter Elemin. Halia Coster, who runs the merchant exchange, calls forth two young individuals. And this is a part of the tradition where all the masters of their craft of the town come forward and basically pick their apprentices for the next coming year and start them on their basically trade schools towards learning these individual crafts. And it's sort of a joke around town. The ones coming of age worry about whether or not they're going to get picked. but it's already been decided. They make a big show of the craftmasters kind of standing forward and pretending to ponder and then picking some, but the masters have already decided who they want to be their apprentices. And this goes on for several minutes, which leaves a core group of about 9 or 10 still standing there. And they don't seem to be nervous. They don't seem to be worried at all. They seem to know what they're doing. You see Fergus come up behind Harbin, and he's got a big stack of swords in his arms. And Harbin calls again for the group to gather, and they kind of gather in 2 small lines. And he looks out at the assembled young people. Why do you draw your sword? And in perfect unison, they all respond, in defense of my honor, my family, or my homeland. How long do you fight? Until my last breath joins the northern winds. When do you stop watching? And it's a very resound, never. Once this sword is drawn, you become a warrior. Always wear it near you in preparation to fight. Will you draw the blade and join us? Will you draw the blade and fight? Rise as men and women of the Golden Crane. And everybody just kind of draws the blade at the same time and then stands there with it in front of them, and everyone starts clapping and cheering and hooting and hollering.
That's a big crowd roar right there.
Why doesn't everybody roll me a perception check?
That doesn't sound good.
18.
Lance got 17.
20.
You all did actually pretty well.
In the middle of a screaming crowd focused on a thing, we're all like, oh yeah, we'll stuff.
And as you're sitting here and everyone's kind of shouting and chanting and clapping and making a big hullabaloo, you all hear a female voice, a panicked female voice from somewhere in the back end of the crowd. And you hear, Adra! Adra! Has anyone seen my Adra? Has anyone seen my Adra?
And that is where we close the book for now. Come join us next time on Just Roll With It.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Are you enjoying Just Roll With It? Do you want to keep up with all of the shenanigans and updates and maybe interact with us online? Follow us on Twitter at @just_roll or Instagram at @JustRollWithAPodcast with underscores between each word. Are you interested in maybe earning cool gaming dice or other awesome perks? Our Patreon is patreon.com/JRWI. We use Sirenscape for all of our sound effects and are a production of Fox and Raven Media.
I love Ash so much. I can't even tell you.
Fuck you. And fuck that can of pineapples.
This part is being recorded.
Oh, thank you so... Oh, that's so gross.
I washed it.
That was a root beer inside the can, or empty can of pineapples. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Take it back.